I got a brand new phone, and you'll never believe what I just saw on my phone. And in fact, I'm not only amazed, I'm shocked, and I'm actually very inspired. Welcome to this week's Think Tank Tuesday. I'm Paul Potratz.
And I'm Kristen Paul.
All right. So, Kristen, we were talking before we started going live here. And so I just got the new phone. I'm sorry, but I left the Apple iPhone camp. I am gone from iPhone. And
Phone's kind of behind right now.
And I'm on the Samsung. It's the Galaxy S8. Mm-hmm. I went with S8. It was a little smaller than the S8 Plus. Fits my hand pretty well.
Yeah, it's really nice looking.
It looks modern.
It does.
So it looks really modern, and and we're going to show this in a little bit what's going to happen. But we're going to show it on video, but we're going to talk about what it is. Mm-hmm. So I went to lunch earlier. And then I got a notification on my phone, and it said, we need more information. We need more information, or we need personal information for your Google Map. And I was like shocked. I was like, what do you mean you need personal information? So I clicked it, and it
push notification.
Yeah, it was
right?
like a push notification. It was a push notification because when I scroll the screen down, it gives me all these notifications. It tells me where I have credit card, how I've used my credit card. And then when I clicked on that, it showed me all of the locations. I've only had the phone for a few days, and it showed me all of the locations that I'd been at the last few days. But let me say this. I did not check in, the old school check-in like Foursquare. Didn't check in, didn't do any of that.
Nobody has time for that anymore.
Nobody has time for that. So I didn't do anything. I didn't tell anybody I was there. I did not post on Facebook. I did not tweet. I did not take an Instagram picture. I didn't do anything. In fact, what I did do is my phone was laying in the center console of my car most of these trips, or it was in my pocket, because I am not one to take my phone out and lay it on the table in a meeting, or lay it on the table for lunch when I'm meeting with people, because that's rude and disrespectful. Right. Yep. It stays in my pocket, it stays on mute, or it stays in my console. But it knew everywhere I was at. We already knew that.
Yeah, we
kind of knew that.
No surprise there.
Everybody knows that. But what's really cool is the way it asked me on the maps. Mm-hmm. It asked me, for example, I was at the grocery store, Hannaford, and the question it asked me, are you ready?
Yeah.
What was the produce like? So it wants to know what the produce was like. It just asked me various questions. It didn't ask me to review my experience or anything. It asked me very specific things, like what was the produce like for the grocery store. And then I started clicking through, and then I had a lunch meeting, and it asked me, where I went to have lunch here in Schenectady at Johnny's, an Italian restaurant. It didn't ask me anything like what was the food like. It asked me, is this a good place to have a meeting? Is it quiet? So no, that was two different questions. It asked me, was it quiet? What was the atmosphere like? Was it quiet?
Are they all, you can select the different options for the questions?
Yes.
Is it yes or no question? You can select the options. So it's making it really easy for you to answer, correct?
Yeah, it was like yes, no, not sure. Or it was like, I wasn't here. But so was it quiet? And the next question it asked was, is this a good place to hold a meeting, have a meeting? And so it asked all these questions other than something very like, was the food good?
Right, general.
And so I'm clicking through this, and it's all of these questions real quick. They made it really simple for me to answer these questions of all the places I was at. Okay, so this is how it worked. I'm going to fumble with this a little bit, but I got the notification in my notifications, and then it started asking questions. Does this place have great produce? Yes, no, not sure, haven't been there. And then I can go over there. So here it is, Hannaford. Does this place have a public restroom? Yes, no, not sure. Think about it. When was the last time you went to a place of business and you asked to use the restroom and they said, sorry, we do not have a restroom? Is there a help desk here for the Hannaford supermarket? Yes, no, not sure. So it's watching every place I go. Is this place cash only? Is there wheelchair accessibility entrance here? Again, Hannaford. Boy, they're asking a lot of questions about Hannaford. Does this place have organic products? This is just fascinating. Are prepared foods sold here? But every place that I went, like the restaurant that I went to earlier, that they were asking me all the questions. So think about that as a marketer, as a business owner. What are you going to do differently? So, I mean, you kind of think about that and what's happening. And the whole reason that I thought we should do a video about that is because your everyday marketing strategy and the way that people are trying to do marketing now, that they're focusing on like a Google pay-per-click strategy or a pay-per-click strategy or SEO. I got to be honest. That's like so 2005.
It is. It really is.
So you think about that, and there's a quote that I heard recently that I absolutely love. Are you ready for it? Mm-hmm. Don't focus on the root. Focus on... Wait. I said it wrong. I keep on screwing it up. Don't focus on the fruit. Focus on the root. What do you think that really means?
I think that means you need to focus on the nitty-gritty. It doesn't matter if you have an amazing PPC campaign that is better than all of your competition. If your restaurant, if your dealership, if your doctor's office, whatever business you own, the root of it isn't running properly, you're not treating your customers properly, it doesn't matter what your PPC campaign or any of your marketing is like. Yeah. You're not going to succeed.
So if you don't have a good process, but you're spending money and you're trying to tell everybody how great it is to do business with you, and your process is in serious need of overhaul and improvement, and that PPC campaign that's driving all this possible additional traffic or leads, let's say leads, and you don't have a good process, your website sucks, your follow-up process sucks, your phone skills suck. I'm using that word a lot, sorry guys. But I mean, really, people are going to find out about that so much faster. You're going to spend tens of thousands or waste tens of thousands of dollars, because there is no, let me be honest, you know, if you're in automotive, you know DealerRater, and I got to be honest, you're wasting your money.
Oh yeah, big time.
You know, DealerRater is on the way out.
Yeah.
I mean, let me just be frank and honest. They're on the way out. And I thought they were on the way out some years back when Google changed the reviews, but now they're really on the way out.
Hanging on.
Yeah, they're hanging on by the skin of their teeth. But you think about all these, you know, businesses that are paying for DealerRater reviews, but, you know, like we started talking about this, and Joe, our video extraordinaire, was saying, did you know, and I wanted him to be in the video. I don't know why he's not in here, but maybe we should pull him in. What do you think? So, Joe, come on over here, okay? No, you can use my mic.
We can share.
I want everybody to hear this straight from Joe's mouth. So, Joe, come on over here. You can be right in the center of us, okay? So I think this is important information. So, Joe, tell your experience.
So, if nobody else knows, instead of using Google Maps, you use Google Rewards, which I installed on my phone maybe 2 years ago. And based on traveling or going to different places, it'll ask you different questions, whether it be, did you pay with a credit card at this store that you went to? Did you pay with cash? Would you give a review on this hotel you went to? And every time it pays you, and I think I probably have about $20 right now. And there's different ways of spending it, but it's a better enticement because I get the push notifications from Google Maps. I tend to ignore them. I don't have the time.
Right.
If they give me a money incentive, though, yeah, okay. But,
so you're racking up money just by doing reviews by places that you've done business with, and they're asking you more detailed questions.
Correct.
So, wow. I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. So, anything else to add to that, Joe?
I will say that I have other friends that use it, and Google, as a test, does make up fake businesses to see if you're actually telling the truth.
Oh, wow.
They're
because
intense.
They do get, you know, I mean, it makes sense when you have a money incentive.
So they make fake businesses to see if you're trying to scam them.
Right.
Wow.
And they'll let you know. They're like, this is a business we made up. You're suspended. So, yeah.
Wow.
So they want
Thanks,
accurate
Joe. Sure.
information.
So, yeah, accurate information. And I mean, and just so you know, I'm not hating on DealerRater. I want every company to be successful and prosper and everything else. Right. But it's just, you know, you think about that. I mean, advertising agencies. That's what we are. Advertising agency. Good thing that we offer a lot of consulting, and we do a lot of consulting. But if you're an advertising agency, wake up call. So you kind of think about that, the way they're doing that, and they're asking for these reviews, and how do you beat the system? Because so many people are focusing on the fruit, not the root, and want to beat the system. And it's really creating transparency in your business.
Right.
It's creating transparency in your business, transparency in your process. It's really allowing people to see what's going on. I mean, we thought reviews, just reviews in general, a lot of people get really upset about online reputation. And I was, one of those ones that was very vocal about saying, hey, if you're selling a service, or not a service, if you're selling a product, for example, you're selling a car as a dealership, people are reading the reviews about the car much more than they're reading the reviews about the dealership they're buying it from. And I still believe that, but...
I do, in a way, though.
Yeah.
I personally, so I'm in the process of, this is my first time by myself looking for a vehicle.
Yep.
So I'm in the process, want to get a car that will be more conducive to upstate New York winters.
Yep.
And it obviously is very, very important to me to read all of the vehicle reviews itself. But then, guess what? We don't have one Toyota dealer around us. There's a lot for me to choose from. And if you're not treating me properly and giving me the attention that I want and need as a customer, I'm going to go elsewhere.
But here's the thing. Would you read the reviews about the Toyota dealers before you went to visit them? Or you would?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't find just the car?
I'm not going to waste my time. It depends. If that vehicle I wanted was at more than one dealership, I would absolutely read the reviews on the dealership before wasting my time going there.
See, and I'm the type, and I think this goes to show, because I'm the type that I would never read the reviews about the business. I would call them. I might even, I doubt, fill in a form on their website. But I would call them, and if they, were disrespectful on the phone, then I would pretty much say, okay, I'll go somewhere else.
Yep.
I would just base it on that versus not reading the reviews. I mean, I just wouldn't, but I do read the reviews about something I'm getting ready to buy, like that car.
I think that's also an important point though, is
everybody's different.
Everybody's different, and then if you look at, I'm not calling you old.
That's okay. I got the white beard. I mean,
you are not a millennial, right? So,
I am too a millennial.
You're not a millennial.
Okay, you're right. I'm not, because I work.
But millennials work too.
Okay.
So I think, though, that goes to show what we're gearing towards, and as marketers and as businesses, as entrepreneurs, what we need to be focusing on for getting ready for the millennials. And then what's after millennials? Gen Z. We're all focused on customer experience. And that is why you are getting all of those questions.
But and I think it's just not millennials, though. I think it's fascinating as a Gen X. So I'm a Gen X, but just that they're, of course, we knew that they're tracking everywhere we go. When you just know it, I mean, when you've got this device in your pocket, you're being tracked where you're going.
Yeah.
You can shut off whatever you want and think, because my Wi-Fi's not on.
Right. Yeah. No, you're being tracked no matter what.
Yeah. So
just don't be sketchy. Who cares? Who cares if you're being tracked?
Crap, how do I delete that? But no, but I mean, seriously, I mean, the thing is, the message that I'm really trying to send is how we market is completely different. Yes, it's getting so deep. There's so many layers is what's going on. They've tracked where I've gone, and they're asking me to review that place and not just the standard review about how was your experience. It's like, how was the produce fresh? So if you're a grocery store, you better get some fresh produce. I mean, so there's so many things that's happening. And my point is, as a business owner, as a marketer, you don't have control over that.
Right.
And we are such a control society that, somebody will leave a review about us and it's a bad review. And the first question we ask is, how do we delete that? And you can't delete it.
And you shouldn't delete it, even if you could, because...
But I don't know. I mean, I can see that point, but there's some serious whack jobs out there.
True.
They will use that that they feel empowered, and they'll say, for example, like one of our clients, and on his Facebook page, there's a guy leaving reviews about him that are bad reviews, negative reviews, and I seen it, and they're looking for this person in the CRM, and this person's never even done business with them. There's whack
Crazy
jobs
people
out there like that.
There are.
So it's kind of like, to Joe's point, that where they're putting in fake businesses, but how do you control the real businesses where you're getting reviews that people are just, angry? That they're angry, they feel empowered, that, I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit around and leave bad reviews. Mm-hmm. But just the whole marketing strategy. And you know what else I like about this phone too? Is I can see something, like looking at this microphone, I can hold it up and it will tell me what this microphone is, serial number, where it was made, and it will give me different places to be able to buy it. So you just kind of think about what happens here, where it makes it so easy. Amazon has something like this in the app, but now your phone. I mean, a lot of people know about this, but how accurate it's getting. So I just hit the shopping button, and look how accurate it's going to be. It pulls up the 6 Plus, exactly what it is. I mean, it didn't pull up the gigabytes right, but how could it know that? And not only does it have all the phones, but it also has accessories. And who's the beneficiary of this? Amazon. So think about how this is going to affect businesses.
Right. And I think that's a good point to bring up too, because this is a new feature. This is a new phone. Apple's also getting ready with their new phone launch to launch a feature just like this. So they're data mining right now. They are hardcore data mining so that all of these features are of more benefit to the consumer.
Yeah.
They're just attaching people to their phones more. It's really genius.
And it's the voice, too. I really like what's happening now, that you have all of this additional voice recognition, and it kind of escapes me because I was looking at it the wee hours this morning about it. But the voice capabilities that I can shop with my voice now. I mean, we see that. We see it with Amazon's Echo.
Alexa.
Is it Alexa or Echo?
Alexa.
There's both. Oh my gosh, one wasn't enough. We have to have two.
Yeah.
But how many devices are there out there that you can shop with your voice?
And there's just going to be more.
Talking about making the consumer lazy. I mean, that's what it is. Oh, it's convenience. No, it's lazy. And, so many businesses are focused on how do we have to get them into our brick and mortar. We have to get them into our showroom. But, with Alexa and Echo and whatever else that's out there, that those businesses that are willing to adapt and change are the ones that are. I mean, I feel like I'm telling the story of General Electric here when they used to build. Was it General Electric that used to build locomotives? Before your time, before my time though too. But or the Vanderbilts. Like recently, I toured some of the mansions in the Vanderbilts that were some of the richest people in the world. That the amount of money that they were spending, you'd think they would still be on the Forbes, top list, and none of them are because they didn't evolve.
Right. And we're going to be having to evolve even faster and more often than we're used to. It's really exponential at this rate.
So I think we've been rambling for a while. We've been talking about this for a while, but I hope this is a wake-up call to you. And you're probably saying, okay, great. You dumped all this information on us. What can we do about it? And I think really to just make it simple and to tell you what you can do about it is process, that you need a good process. You need to pay attention to the root, not the fruit. Is your produce good? Is the experience good?
Right. Focusing on that customer-centric business model.
Listening to your clients. Mm-hmm. What's important to your clients? Like when I go to a restaurant, I do not want to be in a noisy restaurant. I don't.
Right. No.
It makes me bonkers.
Or a really dark restaurant.
That was one of the questions too. That was one of the questions that it asked about, was it well lit and stuff. So ask the questions of your clients of what's important to them. So I start investing in surveys. Let your clients know that you care about what's important to them. And evolve your company to decide who you want to be marketing to, decide who you want as clientele. Ask them the questions and make your company a better fit for those individuals. And by all means, call us for consulting, because I've been doing a lot of consulting meetings the last few months, and it's amazing the trends that I'm seeing. And but they're the same thing. It's over and over and over. But it seems like the biggest thing that people are struggling with is, how do I know where I'm spending my money is right? Am I wasting my money in my advertising strategy? How do I open up additional revenue streams? In other words, how do I make more money? How do I find other profit centers? How do I open up other doors for that prospective client to come through? How do I find more staff that's really motivated and cares and will stay on for a long time, so I'm not having to replace them every 12 months? So, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of that. So call us for consulting. I'd love to talk about what you're experiencing. And wow, I'm loving this phone though. I mean, so I'm wondering what Apple's going to do next. But
well, they have with their new phone coming out something very similar to that.
But honestly, just talking about Apple, and I'm going to get my Apple my friends that are going to hate on me for saying this, but I think Apple's on the way down. I mean, I know they have a lot of money and everything else.
Have been since Steve Jobs left.
Everybody says that since Steve Jobs left, but I think there's some truth to that. I think he was an unbelievable leader.
Oh, fantastic.
But it's like they keep on rolling out a phone that's a little variation. Like, to go from the 6 to the 7 was not anything impressive. And I mean, things like, for example, if I want to open my phone, I'm not having to dump in codes. I can scan my fingerprint if I want to. On the back, my finger goes, or all I have to do is hold it up. The phone looks at me and unlocks. Face recognition and iris recognition. So
I think it'd be a fun experiment if you guys commented below and wrote, in the next 5 years, who do you think is going to be winning, Apple or Android?
Droid is, without a doubt. And I mean, I've been an Apple fanboy for years.
Oh, yep.
And I mean, I'm even looking at dumping my iPads anyway, because I played with the Microsoft Surface, and
it's awesome.
I gotta be honest, I am kind of regretting the purchase of all my iPads and the iPad Pro. I can't even talk today. iPad Pro. I mean, I think Apple's on the way out, and I really wonder, with Google, what is Google going to do with search advertising? Facebook is taking, so just understand, you don't stay on top forever. You will not always be the top dog.
You have to constantly evolve to stay relevant.
You have to evolve. Don't stick your head in the sand. Don't ignore it. Don't think it's going to go away. Don't think it's going to change, because if you stick your head in the sand and ignore it for 30 days, you're pretty far behind. So things are changing, and you just have to say, who moved my cheese? All right, till next week. We'll see you next week, guys.